listening to the Streetcat Sisters, a weekly entertainment podcast.
As always, I'm Jess,
And I'm Boo.
and we are the Streetcat
Streetcat
Sisters.
Sisters.
And on today's episode,
Today.
welcome back, Streetcat Gang.
Gang, gang.
I have been looking forward to this episode since its conception. Since we conceived the idea to start a podcast, this has been the episode I've been looking forward to.
And the episode I've been looking forward to, I don't think we're going to do it. I'm kidding. We will. We'll get there.
I wish my doctor gave me blood pressure meds.
Now do you see why Mom's on it?
I really wish the doctor gave me blood pressure meds.
Why have you been excited for this episode? Do you want to tell our lovely Street Cat gang?
Well, being an October baby, I definitely am all about the spooky side. And October always makes me feel spooky and get into the creepy mood. And I'll tell you, I feel so ready now for Halloween after this weekend and binging The Fall of the House of Usher on Netflix. Like that season, you guys, perfectly put me in the Halloween spirit.
You know what put me in the Halloween spirit?
What's that?
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
We did get to finally watch that together.
Yeah. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
It was awful, boo.
It was amazing. If you like
No, even for B movies, it was
B-rated, C-rated, D-rated, F-rated, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is right up your alley.
Oh my goodness!
Which
of
it
course
was,
you liked it.
Well, it was Winnie the Pooh, and
Winnie the Boo Bear.
I hate that.
Says the person with Winnie the Pooh literally tattooed on their arm.
Okay, look, that wasn't for me.
Mhm.
Okay, it wasn't for me. But yeah, I enjoyed Winnie the Pooh,
And
Blood and Honey.
I enjoy, and I feel like that can perfectly encapsulates like each of us. Your favorite of this weekend was Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and my favorite was me watching twice. I binged it twice. The Fall of the House of Usher this weekend because it was so good.
Well, you're also talking to the person who is in the crack animal universe, apparently. I went to go see Cocaine Bear in theaters. I met the author of Crack Coon at the recent convention. So, yeah, I adore dumb movies. So, I won't say it's dumb. It was very calculated. The Blood and Honey was very calculated, and I loved it.
I'm sure you did.
What did you like about the fall of Usher? What did you like about
The
that?
Fall of Usher. You make it sound like it's the fall of the music artist Usher. No.
Yeah.
No. I think it was just a complete love letter to Poe. Like it was beautiful. You felt the way watching it like you would have when you read it for me, and getting to see people who don't read,
Like me.
well,
No, I'm just
it's
kidding.
not your fault. A lot of people, when you make it a
I do
chore
read.
for kids, that's what I've learned. When you make it a chore for kids, they tend to not like it when it's getting adults. And so I don't make it a chore for my kids. Like,
Yeah,
but
well, I was the one that it was
I
a
like
chore
to
for me.
read.
It was a chore for me, but then I found the genre that I do like. So I think we need to allow kids to find
their
Well,
own interests. Absolutely.
yeah.
That's why I let them pick out their own books. But I don't make it a chore to read. But I love Poe, and I think just seeing non-readers get to feel the actual spookiness of his stories and his poems. Oh my goodness, it was so good. It was so good.
Oh yeah.
But this episode I'm super excited about because we get to talk about some of the actual, what we consider some of the spookier things that have happened to us over the years.
So actual haunts of our life, not just like
Unexplained things.
like they're UHOs,
UHOs.
unidentified haunted objects.
Okay. Okay. Nobody's gonna call them that. Nobody.
I just did make that a thing. Just
Please.
like how
No.
buttcorn.
No. We're not doing that again.
Oh.
Oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Why do you not like the buttcorn?
Nobody likes buttcorn.
Buttcorn.
Okay. But we talked about some of the spooky things that we've actually, some of the unexplained things that have happened, and some of the more famous locations too that we've been.
Oh yeah, we have 2 famous haunted cities on our list, and a couple of our where we lived.
Yeah, that's where I actually like to start. If you remember, I think our first real deal with unexplained stuff happening was in the first house we lived in when we moved to Tennessee.
Okay, so the first house that we moved into, it was actually happened to you and me, actually.
The first experience we were together again, because if I didn't have you to witness things that I see, I would have gone crazy. And this was a first example of that. Do you remember what we were doing?
Were we wrestling?
We were I think we were hiding, or we were playing in the living room.
Yeah.
And stop me if this is not exactly what you remember, but Mom collected the teddy bear figurines.
That is not how I remember it. No,
Oh,
she did collect the teddy bears.
Okay.
I'm just messing with you.
Please. Okay. She collected the teddy bear figurines, and we saw one levitate off of the TV stand or the shelf where it was at, and then fly across the room, hit the wall, and then fall to the floor. And it didn't break. Nope. And that was amazing to us, is that it didn't break.
I thought it would have broken by hitting the wall at that power that it did.
It got yeet like yeet across the room right in front of us. And I was in the 5th grade at that point, so I'm not like a little kid. I'm 10 at this point. Mm-hmm. I remember the first night we stayed there, and we were all staying in the living room because we hadn't unpacked anything. Mm-hmm. And the cabinets in the kitchen, which we couldn't see from the living room, the cabinets were slamming. Do you remember that?
I still blame my brother on that one.
Mm-hmm. He was not in there.
Bear just walked by my leg, and I thought it was something else, like a ghost.
Are you scared?
No.
Are you afraid of the dark?
I'm afraid of your cat.
Bear is a sweetheart. You leave him alone. Anywho, do you remember how many dead birds that house seemed to attract? Like, every time I walked around the outside of that house, there seemed to be a dead bird. And I wish I was making that up.
Can I say something?
Go ahead. I know.
Birds aren't real.
No, not that. I thought you were going to say that's totally some Conjuring stuff. But no.
Yeah, it is some Conjuring stuff. But at the same time, birds aren't real.
No, but it happened, right? You saw it. Am I wrong?
No. Do you remember the tobacco fields
that were around the house? Yeah. But those weren't haunted. The house was. And the person we were renting, and our brother swore he saw like an old woman ghost. I didn't see it, but I knew I was very scared of the basement. Mm-hmm. Well, I was not happy going in that basement.
Yeah, I don't think you're ever happy going into a basement.
I mean, unless they're like furnished. That one was just creepy and gave off bad vibes. It did not pass the vibe check.
Does anything pass the vibe check to you?
My bed 100% passes the vibe check.
Oh, I stand corrected.
Yep. No questions asked.
Or I lie down correctly.
No, you leave my bed alone.
I want to lay down.
No. That was our first. That one was weird. That place.
Oh, yeah.
That place. I'm glad we didn't live there long.
I think we lived like 3 months there. So before the owners of the house realized that they wanted it. Okay, take your spooky house.
No. It was just the one dude. His wife was gone, and she had died, I think. Anyway, that's what 10-year-old me knew.
Yeah.
And
take your spooky house and live your spooky life. I would rather live somewhere else. Which we moved into a spookier house.
We did later. So do you want to go into the spookier house that we lived in, or do you want to go into, because chronologically, our first trip to Charleston, like after we moved away from there as infants, comes next before we moved into the spookier house.
Yeah, we could talk about Charleston. I mean, it was one of my favorite childhood trips we ever took. So.
Oh, yeah. I remember it very vividly.
Yeah. What the coolest part about that was Mom's twin sister and her family was there with us. So I think it was more for our aunt to see the ocean than it was for us, to be honest.
Oh, because we used to live there, so
Yeah.
we've seen it.
Which I don't mind. It was a great trip.
Oh, yeah.
So we had to split up cars for that trip. We took 2 separate cars down there. And we ended up going the weekend after 4th of July.
I remember that.
So we spent the day at 4th of July or July 3rd or 4th at NASCAR Speed Park in Seville. And then drove through the night to try to find a hotel room instead of coming home. Even though we live like 30 minutes away from it. We just tried to find a hotel. And we ended up in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
All right, cut ahead to the spookiness.
In between finding a hotel in Seville to Spartanburg, I don't know if it was a bridge, overpass. I know we were going over something on a bridge. I was riding with my aunt and my uncle and one of my cousins. So, my aunt and I don't remember if one of our cousins ended up seeing what we saw, but it was a figure standing on the bridge in the middle of the rain.
That's terrifying.
They walked in the middle of the highway too, and just disappeared. My aunt and I gasped and was standing on the 2 lawns, and we just passed by him, and he didn't flinch or anything. And by the time we looked back, he was gone. So that was scurry. Scurry shit for little 10-year-old me. But thankfully, my aunt was there to witness it with me. So.
Yeah, I wasn't riding with you. I was probably asleep. So I didn't see that. But something else happened to you, right?
On the same trip.
On the same trip. You poor thing.
Well, that's what happens when you are sensitive to stuff like that. So, same trip. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the famous Rainbow Road of Charleston.
Who's not?
But we just got back from Fort Sumter and walked the Battery, and we were walking. The family is walking up Rainbow Road, and my aunt and I, something catches our attention at the same time. We look up into, it was a yellow house. We looked up, and there was someone standing in the window, and we just catch it for a split second before it disappeared.
That's cool.
And she looked down and over at me. She's like, "Do you see that?" Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one that did, but
makes you feel sane if somebody's there to witness.
Yeah, it was just yellow house, Rainbow Road, haunted as fuck.
So I took my kids a couple years ago back to Charleston to show them, Charleston is where I came from. And we didn't really have any spooky. We did do a family friendly ghost tour, a ghost walk at night.
Oh yeah.
My kids adored, they had a blast with that. They gave them EMF readers to play with, and told them some age appropriate. One kid did chicken out, I'll never forget, and my kids are looking at me like, why? I don't know.
If it's age appropriate or family appropriate, why? I know. I'm not going to question it. I'm not going to question it because there was some stuff.
They talked about pirates and stuff. So, I mean, it was cool, and the kids loved it. But
we did talk about episode ago or 2, where I chickened out on things. So cannot complain.
My kids didn't. They thought it was really cool. I know my oldest and their friends love the spooky, but so they were really excited. I do have an app on my phone that says it's a ghost box that they could speak through. The only thing that mine said, I pulled it out at the very end of the tour. We were by a cemetery, so of course I was going to pull out my ghost box, and the first thing it said was, "Why am I dead?" or "Am I dead? Am I dead?" And I was like, "Oh."
I thought that happened in New Orleans.
No, that one happened in Charleston. I was like, "Oh, honey, I got some bad news."
I got some bad news.
And then it called. Then I got the box said streetwalker. And I was like, that's rude, man. Like, and this is 21st century. Like,
Did it just call you a
yeah,
hooker?
it did call me a streetwalker because I was wearing a tank top and shorts. I guess.
Oh no, it just.
Oh, I was very upset.
1800.
I turned
name
that.
called you.
I know. I turned that box off. I'm like, I don't need your negativity. Like, I felt cute. Shut up. Like, I was
mean,
so upset.
That's gonna be us in the future.
Just
we're ghosts.
No, I am not shaming any women for what they wear. If you want to, you wear what makes you happy.
But you might get called a streetwalker.
That ghost was mean. Okay. I think you're
gonna get
stuck in
caught-
the afterlife, man. I'll catch you. I'm gonna catch him outside afterlife. And like I'm gonna
How about that?
How
about
catch him. How dare you? First of
of
all, how dare you?
First of all, how dare you? Two,
Absolutely. So I've got beef.
Catch me
I got
outside.
beef waiting on me in the afterlife.
man. And you thought I was the problematic one.
Me out here picking fights with ghosts. Like, which one of you said it? Which one of you said it?
Catch me outside. How about that?
I will then. Okay. I'm astral project to kick your ass.
I'm going to kick your ass into the next life.
I'll feel gold you to the light. I'll feel gold kick you into the light.
Pele kick. I can't with you.
I know.
Is it too late to back out of this
I
now?
was not dressed bad. I looked
Even if you
appropriate.
were dressed
That
bad,
was
you were
me.
probably dressed comfortably.
It was me, man.
Streetwalker.
No, but do you want to talk about? Okay, so we have two really big topics left. The two big topics that we have left, of course, is the creepier house we moved to.
Which I still live on the same property today, so.
Yeah, and you've had some experiences since then too.
Yeah.
But then also I've had a trip to famous New Orleans, and I do have some ghost stories. You want me to? Okay, New Orleans.
Go ahead with New Orleans.
Speaking of fighting in the
Which-
afterlife, no.
Which, really quick, if any of our followers know how to properly say New Orleans,
Nolans.
Narlands,
Nolans.
Nolans,
Nolans.
Nolans.
Nolans. I loved it down there. Let me just say, if I could move, if it wasn't so hot down there,
It wasn't hot. It's muggy.
I know, but I couldn't do it. I went in May. Yes, it was May. So it still wasn't too bad yet, but it was. I loved it down there. I loved the people. Of course, I love the food, and my husband got to have his first spooky experience. Couple of them. He actually got a
All right.
couple of them. All right. The first one, and tell me if anybody else has experienced this, so maybe we can realize that we're not crazy. But so my husband and I get to downtown, Bourbon Street. We park. We're gonna walk. We just roll into town. I want to walk. I want to see before we even get to the hotel. I want to see, Bourbon, and walk the streets. And so me and my husband get out of the car. We start walking the streets, just taking in the sights and the sounds and the smells and the beauty and all of it. But I feel
The taste.
no. Oh yeah, I did absolutely. But
The feel, the
the
touches,
drinks.
the
But
taste.
I feel like somebody's following us. I think I'm being just paranoid because I keep looking over my shoulder. I feel this presence like almost hovering over me, and I'm smaller. It's very easy for anybody over 5'5" to hover over me, to be honest. But I feel like somebody is like right there over my shoulder, and I keep looking, and there's nobody there. Finally, after doing this for several minutes, I stop, and I have to ask my husband, have you felt like somebody is following us or watching us or something? Like, and he's like, his eyes grow really wide, and he says, you have no idea how many times I've looked over our shoulder. But after that initial feeling, it went away, and we didn't feel that again, no matter how many times no matter how many times we walked downtown, how many days we stayed and we came back, that never happened. So what we felt kind of was like they were checking us out, making sure we were, passing the vibe.
If you were passing the vibe
If I was
check.
passing the vibe check, because New Orleans is such a place, they have seen such tragedy from their inception.
Isn't it, like, other than Paris, it is America's city of the death, I think.
It's so sad. Like, they've had such a tragic and violent and horrific history that they know
Yeah.
death, and they
Came back.
it's a live every single day, like it's your last, and that's and it's a beautiful lifestyle. I'm envious of it. It was
Yeah.
amazing. I loved it down there, and it really gave you an appreciation for life, being around so much death. But so that
Oh,
was the
yeah.
first thing. There's
Right.
more. Oh wait, there's more. So of course we couldn't get into any of the cemeteries. They were all under construction, or they were all blocked off, or you had to pay for a fee. And I was like, I just want to see one. And we find one by this place we go for beignets one late night, and it's got a fence, like not a wall. This one actually just has like a fence. So we're standing there looking through the fence, and my husband grabs my arm real quick, and he says, "Did you see that?" And it's dusk. And I said, "What?" And he's like, "It was a shadow. I saw a person like standing there, and then they were gone." I was like, "Oh,
spooky.
you saw your first shadow person."
Yeah,
Like
shadow people are, like, creepy if you're not familiar with
Oh,
them.
and he never seen one in his
Oh,
30
yeah.
plus years of life. That was his first shadow person, was at one of the cemeteries in downtown New Orleans, which is so cool.
Oh,
We did do a ghost tour. It was an adult one. Since we didn't have the kids, we didn't bring the kids to our trip to New Orleans. But and it was fantastic, and got to hear a lot of the history and horrible things that's happened there. But the only place, I'll tell you this, of all the places I got to see and witness and look at and learn the history of, the only place that really, really gave me a pit in my stomach was the place above the pharmacy museum. I know that sounds weird, dude. I even went to the Museum of Death, and nothing gave me the bad vibes.
Wait, you've been to the Museum of Death
Yes.
in New Orleans?
Yes, I got to witness and go in there to the Museum of Death. And again, it just kind of gives you a real appreciation for life. Any minute, one wrong move. So I never leave my house. No, are you yawning? Am I boring you?
No,
But it gives you a real appreciation for life. That's just,
Oh, yeah.
I like being scared, because if you're not scared for your life, then what's the point of living if you're not?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It makes me feel alive.
I think the you being scared for your life really shows.
So I know I'm not going to go into the history. I know what that place was above the pharmacy museum, what happened there, and I'm not going to go into it. It's not my story to tell. It was awful. If you don't know it, look it up. It's now, like, I've heard, like a wedding venue, and people pay.
What?
Yeah, people pay like millions of dollars to have their wedding there, and the history that makes it tragic, horrific. I would never. And if you're paying millions of dollars to have your wedding there without looking up the history and not caring,
You're wasting your
your
time.
bad vibes. You know what? You deserve the bad vibes. I'm not gonna say
Bad juju.
it was so bad. But that place gave me real bad vibes. It creeped me out a lot. But that was it. That was the only place. And that place, it has a reason to be that creepy. It's so sad. But
Oh, yeah.
everything else, nothing else really. Everybody else was just so inviting, and I felt like they loved me there. Like, I felt my home away from home. If it wasn't so muggy.
Muggy. Oh, it's not the heat that'll get you, it's the humidity.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
Okay, but now is the
creepiest.
place we've lived at.
I don't even know how to start this place. Like, this place was
The man who built it took the top of the mountain,
built the
off.
house,
built the house,
put the mountain back. It's an underground bunker. Okay. We'll just leave it at that. It's an underground bunker. Probably not, it's no longer fit for
life.
life outside of like animals. But that area, this whole area where we're at is Civil War, American Revolution.
Oh yeah.
We
but
have what
the
General
so
Bradstreet,
yeah.
or Long Street. What the heck? I don't know.
It's General Longstreet is about 2 minutes from this house.
So the
Well,
area's by off
The
the lake.
it from studies that we have done, it is they have literally came up the creek that runs through the property and hit the lake that's right there.
Who
And
did?
the Civil War.
When they marched.
The Union soldiers and the Confederate soldiers marched up the
Oh yeah,
lake.
because Bethesda Cemetery is where
It was a hospital.
there was a hospital. So this whole area is pretty spooky. So it's in the middle of the woods. You would never know
Oh,
it was
yeah.
there if you didn't know, you didn't know. And we lived there for several years. And it wasn't the house. The house was oppressive in itself, just because you're kind of living in a cave.
Yeah.
It was,
but it is more the property.
the
than
property scared me so much.
I have a couple stories from it. We've actually had people come to us who's been on the property asking us, hey, do you know there's a man on the property? And we know of one soldier that is still there. He's been pointed out multiple times by separate people that we know and trust, and then captured on trail cams. And
They've had conversations with this. They've had conversations with this soldier, haven't they? Like the people who
Oh,
are
yeah.
staying.
yeah, they have said, hey, you're trespassing, and he'd be like, I'm actually really lost. And it's like, once you realize who you're talking to, that's spooky in itself, that this man is lost.
And he doesn't know. Oh, that's so sad. Has anything? I have.
Have you seen her more than once, though? That
No,
is all I want to ask.
no. I saw her once.
The woman in white.
Yep, I saw her one time.
And I seen her with you. Our brother was with us.
Uh-huh.
So it was the collective of, did we all see the same thing? Yes.
Yeah.
I have seen her recently within the last 2 years. I have.
Really?
Yeah, she's come up to the other side of the property where I'm at.
I don't think she's human.
No, she's not.
I don't know what it is.
Whatever she is, I have bought cameras for the property on the side that I'm on, because we've already put cameras on one side of the property, and
There's like 40 acres out there, so it's a pretty big size.
Yeah, and so I've bought, the property owner and I have bought more cameras to catch, the stereotypical
Woman of the woods.
woman.
It's just me. It's just me having my mental breakdown, monthly mental breakdown, and I just go haunt the woods. God, that would be amazing. I wish that was my therapy. Just here is a prescription for 1 week. Here is a long white creepy nightgown and your glow, and there you go.
I don't want you to be
I want that person.
the lure of the property.
We are already the cryptids of our town. I might as well
be the cryptid
solidify
of the
it.
property.
Oh, what if this is like Haunting of Hill House, and that is just my future?
What? To be a
Me.
lure of a property?
And that's just my future ghost.
Oh, that's where the witch lives.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
just
want to go
me.
over there. There's a witch that lives there.
That's the woman in white.
That's just Jess.
That's just me.
It's me, Jessica.
That would be. I bet you that's exactly what's happening, because I'm this close, this close.
Oh man, but yeah, I've seen her twice, and one's been within the last 2 years.
Do you remember the story our brother told us about when we were paintballing up in the woods that one time?
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
Okay, he told me the story, and he doesn't listen to the podcast, so he won't care. It scared him. So remember, we got all paintball guns for each other for Christmas one year, just because we wanted to go out and have paintball fights. So we go out in the woods, and he's looking for us, and we're hiding. And he says he's standing there on one of the trails, and he hears footsteps, but then he sees footsteps, indentions in the leaves coming toward him. And he doesn't, as any smart person, like you or I would, we would have
Ran.
fucked off.
See ya.
Bye. I wouldn't have
See ya.
said anything to the rest of you. I would have just been gone.
Yeah, I'm taking my car.
And I'm
We're gone.
outie.
We're gone. Oh, I am done.
Y'all wouldn't have caught me. I've been running like down the hill, down the driveway, across the creek. You wouldn't have caught me.
I'm yeet.
But he didn't. He stood there until it got all the way up to him, and then nothing happened. But I'm like, why? And then he told me that later. It was there at that property.
Man, he put all of us in danger.
I know. No, we would have put everybody. But he, didn't tell me till later. So last year, my kids are a little desensitized to the stuff they're seeing on TV. They're wanting a little more spooky in their life. So I was like, okay, I got a place that's spooky. I took the kids to the underground. And it was just, I know that I was just going to walk them up the driveway and walk them back down. And it was like dusk.
Which I have photos of you guys on my trail cam.
I know, because we were just being, I just wanted them to see it and tell them some of the same spooky stories of the things like we've said here tonight.
Did you get the same feeling that I always got whenever we got into the driveway? It's not just the trail cams that we have on the property, but like
there's eyes. There's eyes in them hills.
Oh yeah, there is definitely.
It's so weird.
You step foot on it and it's already like somebody's watching you.
I've always wanted to have like a haunted house there at the A-frame house.
Oh yeah,
because the place is just so creepy.
Oh yeah.
It's always to me felt colder, and maybe it's just us being kids. I don't know.
Snow always lingered.
It did. I mean, snow always lingered in the property, and it was always colder there. But I took the kids up there, told them some of the ghost stories. I swear to you, Boo, when we were walking up closer to where the front door used to be, I heard a growl.
Oh man, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Man, I kept my cool, but I was like, okay, well, let's make that trek back down to our car.
I was actually up there a few weekends ago.
Were you?
Yeah, I had to jump somebody off who he hangs out at the property. He is like his second home, so I had his battery died, so I was like, okay, I'm not surprised. Being on this property kills things, so I had to go jump him off. And I felt the entire 10 minutes I was there. Someone was watching me.
I had a friend come out and stay in a tent on the property and heard a scream, like a blood-curdling scream in the middle of the night, and refuses to come back onto the property. Like, that place is, I don't know what it is. It's just...
I don't want to say it's cursed, but there's been blood spilled.
This is such a well-kept secret because nobody knows that this hill... It's like, it feels like the whole 40 acres is just that mountain.
Yeah.
And... it's so dark there.
It feels like blood has definitely been spilled there. And that land is cursed. But
it really does almost. And I hate to say that because I love the woods, but I can hang out in the woods all day long because that's who I am. But I'm also, that place is...
Now do you see why Wrong Turn is one of my favorite movies?
Yeah, but you live out there.
You escaped it.
I don't know. I don't live in a very safe place. I don't feel like the neighborhood is not the best.
No.
But I had to go cheap. I have a family of 5. Please forgive me. And it's not that I have cameras everywhere. But I tell my kids all the time, like, our house is not haunted. Yeah. I have to convince them all the time, it's not haunted. And it's not.
You do have a ghost or two that hangs out, but they're not bad.
Yes, I can absolutely admit that our youngest, I do believe, has seen my late father-in-law.
Yeah.
Because he called him dad and then like followed this invisible something through the house and then it disappeared and he's like, where did it go? So I absolutely believe he saw, that, but I don't think, no, this place isn't haunted.
Oh yeah.
I don't need that.
You don't need
I don't need that.
You don't need cameras to see what is there, because cameras could pick up what our eyes cannot see.
I have cameras on the outside. I don't need them for the inside. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. I have the animals and the kids who I don't need any more chaos. There better not be any ghosts living in my house, not paying rent or pulling their weight with the chores. I will be upset. Like
If
I will. You are now on my list.
If
to
I die before
meet
you,
in the afterlife.
if I die before you, that just know that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to be twerking.
No,
Every
I
chance I
swear
get.
you better not. No, do not come to my house if you are not pulling your weight. You are not paying rent. You're not going to sit here and mess with my stuff, hide things from me, or move things. I don't need that. I have enough. I don't need you coming up here. And if you do, guess what? Behind the guy with behind the Charleston person who called me a streetwalker, you're next. Like you're
Oh,
next.
no. Oh, no.
I have a list. I feel like, give me a second. I got some things to take care of.
Mainly the streetwalker ghost.
I was like, we're going fisticuffs.
Oh, no. Why?
Oh.
I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to haunt your house.
Okay.
Whenever you're
You just
in
made the list. Okay.
I don't care. Whenever you're in the shower, I want to turn it to cold water.
Oh my god. I will be so mad.
That's
Like,
how
you're
you're
not paying my water bill.
That's how you're going to
not-
know it's me. I'm just going to turn your hot, steamy water to cold.
Like, this is the
Like,
only...
what up? I'm here.
This is the only time of the day I get a minute to myself, and you decide this, and then I turn into the ghost of the woods. That's what happens.
Oh, yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
happens.
The lure is here.
The lore is completed. Full circle. We made it. Oh my goodness. Streetcat gang. This was fun.
Oh, this was absolutely the best.
No, better be hitting us up and be like, so can y'all show us the property? No.
No.
No, not this month, man.
Maybe for a Twinkie.
No, we're not. Are we? We are not bribable.
I am.
Nope. Boo.
Well, you are the streetwalker. So.
Stop. I am not. I am not. I am
Okay.
happily a loyal wife to my husband.
Okay, streetwalker.
I swear that was not very nice.
You could be either a street cat or a streetwalker. Okay.
That was mean though.
All right, street cat gang.
This was fun. We have one more Halloween one, one more ghosty one to do. What are we gonna do?
I don't know. It seems like they need to catch on next time.
I guess we'll leave it a mystery, even for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, street cat gang.
Thanks for coming by again.
And as always, come back now, you hear?
Are we really? We're not sticking with that, are we? Please.
As always, I'm Boo.
And I'm Jess.
And
we are
the
Street
Street Cat
Cat Sisters.
You come back now, you hear?
No. I mean, please come back. Please come back.
You hear?